Well, today I'm gonna talk about the watch that probably gives the most to a runner. The Garmin Forerunner 945 LTE. Let's go. Well, it's time to talk about that watch. As you can see behind, recently I give myself the mission to try some watches, and I just want to make some reviews and how-to video. You can see a lot of video in the description down below. I do a lot of video about watches, and well, it's time to talk about that one because this one was really impressive. I mean, it's running watch, but for a running watch, it gives you a lot of things that you may only expect to have on a multi-sport watch. This was really impressive. So the way it works is I wear it for one charge, but actually for this one I wear it for 2 or 3 charge because I wanted to test it differently with the LTE, without the LTE, with the music. I did a lot of stuff with that one, and the way it works is that while I'm using it, I simply take some note, and well, today I'm gonna review all of those notes and talk about it with you. So it may be in total disorder, but we will get to every point I get while using it. So the first point is that it's very lightweight. You have to know that personally, the way I use a watch is mostly for hiking, trail running, biking, cycling. Well, actually, I didn't cycle with it because, well, it was almost winter. And it's now winter, so I didn't really cycle with it. I mostly walk and hike with it, and that was amazing. But just take a note that I'm not really a deep runner. I do run sometime, but I'm not a runner. So it's lightweight. Yes, it's lightweight because I'm used to use this Garmin Tactics, which is a big watch and it's very heavy. I like it, but when I wear it, it's very lightweight. So I think it's what runners want. They don't want to feel it on their arm, and actually when I wear it, I don't feel it. It just feels like nothing. It's very lightweight. Which takes us to the second point. It's plasticky. But well, it's lightweight because it's made of plastic. But the point here is that you pay a lot of money for a plastic device. It's not cheap plastic, it's great quality plastic. The watch doesn't feel cheap for this, but it doesn't feel premium because you don't have all of those great quality material that you can find on Phoenix or the Tactics. It's almost the same watch. If you're familiar with Phoenix and Tactics watch, what you will find inside is almost the same thing. You will find some feature that are most likely built for a runner that you may not have on a Phoenix or a Tactics, but definitely you have some feature that are reduced or just not there. But still, I would say it's the same watch at 90 to 95% on the inside. But on the outside, well, it's more plasticky. But if you want a lightweight watch, well, of course you don't want titanium or those kind of material. You don't want any metal or those things. You want plastic because it's very lightweight. Just know that you will pay a lot of money for a plastic watch. The other thing is about the sapphire crystal glass. well, there's no sapphire crystal glass. It's Gorilla Glass, I think. So, well, it's not very easy to scratch, but it's not scratch proof. The reason why I like sapphire crystal glass is that you just don't have to care about it. It is scratch proof. If you want to scratch a sapphire crystal glass, well, you need a diamond. or you need to put a lot of effort into it, or maybe smash it with a hammer. Well, that's why I love sapphire crystal glass, but it's not available on the Garmin Forerunner 945, and I think it should at least have been an option. So I would have been ready to pay $100 or $200 more to have a sapphire crystal glass on this kind of watch, because if you only use it to run or to do your activity, well, maybe it's fine. Except if you fall or if you do obstacle run, I don't see why you would smash your watch on something that could break it. But if you use it on the everyday, well, probably that if you work at an office, it will take some time, but I think that one day you will knock it beside a door or something. And if you do a manual work, well, of course, eventually, probably in a very short time, you will end up with a scratch on your screen. Maybe on a $200 watch, it's not that bad, but at this price, it's expensive to have a scratch on it, personally. The reason why they probably don't put sapphire crystal glass on it, it's because it's more heavy, and they want the lightest watch possible. But come on, put it on option, please. The next point is very positive, and it's about its 5-button. This watch doesn't have a tactile screen, and personally I think it's a very good thing. In fact I hate touchscreen on the watch, and Garmin did a very good job about how you navigate into the watch. If you're used to Garmin, so any Forerunner, Tactics, Phoenix, Instinct, what else? Well, that's all. That's the one I tried with Garmin. It's work always the same way. So you got a select button, a back button, and those two one are up and down. And when you press and hold the up, you got the menu. And just the way it's built, if you're new to Garmin, maybe you will have a learning curve to it. There's a lot of things inside the watch. It probably do a lot more of what you need. I think it's a great thing, because if one day you want something, well, you will probably discover that your watch can do it. This watch can do it. It does a lot of things, and when you take the time, and it does take a lot of time to really deep understand everything what is inside the watch. When you've done the tour of this, when you go in every menu and sub-menu and sub-menu to see all the potential of this watch, well, I think you can navigate very fast to every option with those 4 buttons here. This button here is made for the light, and there's another feature, we'll come back to it later. But anyway, what I want to tell you is that with those 4 buttons right here, you can navigate into the watch very easily, very quickly, and I think they nailed it. That's the watch, the Forerunner, the Tactics, the Phoenix. They are the watch that you can navigate through it the most quicker and the most efficient way. They nailed it, seriously. Now, the next positive point is about the watch face, and that's another thing that, well, they nailed. It's incredibly well done. If you see just right now, that's the one I use. You can see on top there is that little graph where you see blue line and orange line. They represent the night and daytime of the day, so you can see that actually we are into the daytime, and the sun will set at 17:59. Under it, yes, we have the actual time and the date just under it, and you can personalize all these information as you want. So if you want to change the graph on top and have something else, you can. I choose to have the sunset and sunrise one because I like to know when the sun sets. So when we are inside here, after that I choose to have my actual elevation, heart rate, and the outside temperature. But if you want to have something else, that's totally up to you. You choose exactly what you want to have as data just right there. The temperature is something I really like, especially in winter. I usually go do my outdoor activity at night, and just because I love the fact that it's dark and there's nobody, and I love the night ambience. And especially in winter, you see actually it's -5. I will not wear the same thing at -5 and at -10 and -15. I will change what I will wear, and at the very moment I will go out, I will look at that watch instead of going onto my phone to see the weather outside, or move to my thermostat to see what's the weather outside, or go into an app to see. I just have to do this, and I know the temperature. So I really like that. Under it we have, you can see actually there is a phone and the battery. Well, it says that the phone is connected, and you have the battery level. It's not written in percentage, but still you have the icon and you can have an idea of the battery remaining. But you could also have an alarm clock showing up if there was one enabled, or a moon if you are on do not disturb mode, and I think you can also have the LTE logo if it's working on the LTE. And I think it's pretty much it. So, well, you can, if you don't like to have all those data on your watch, you don't need to have them. If you just want the time, you can have it, just the time. If you are more with the hand showing up with, you know, the analog one, well, you can have it. You can really personalize the watch as you want, but this one, the one I've just shown you, is the one that is, I think, made for that watch. I like it. I really like it. Really well done. Yeah. What's the next point? The next point is about the widget. The widgets are really well done. You can navigate into the watch and have access to well, sunset, sunrise time again, but actually I can see that the sun will set in 4 hours and 23 minutes. Actually, I've just done this video in French, so I will put back that watch in English. And remember when I told you it was easy to navigate into the watch and do something? Well, I've just switched the watch in English, and it was this quick. So what do we have else? Well, there's a lot of things. You have data about your heart rate, body battery, your steps of the day. It can look your oxygen in your blood. You got your sleep track. There's the weather that you can push a little bit deeper. So actually you see, well, the weather did change since few minutes ago. Actually it's -4, but I can know that it feels like -7. We've got the minimum and maximum of the day, the percentage of raining or snowing chances. There is a wind of 8 kilometers coming from south, and if we navigate into it, we can see the 12 hours forecast. So actually there is snow coming in, and we can see the next 5 days forecast. Really, really well done. You got a widget for the sunrise and sunset that I love. Really, really well done. Those widgets are about the same that you can find on a Phoenix or a Tactics, but some of them are a bit less well done, like the sunset and sunrise time. There's a bit more of details on the Phoenix, but just a little. Still, I can see the sunset and sunrise time and the twilight time. I can see it for, I'll show it to you. I can see it for today, tomorrow, or any, am I doing it right? Yeah, you see I do switch focus. I can do switch days and see what is the sunrise and sunset time of every day. And you can even see it for another city. You can see it for anywhere into the world, and you don't need an internet connection. It's all built in inside the watch. That's pretty impressive. I remember last fall I was in Radisson in North Quebec, so that's well over 1,000 kilometers in north over me, and well, I was curious, so I was seeing, well, okay, the sun set at this time here, but what about at home? And I was able to quickly go and see at home what was the time, but I could also pick any city in the world. I could navigate on the map, on the world map, and point somewhere and what is the sunset time at this place today, and I can see it really quickly. It's very, very well done. Some widgets are not there. There's one that I like, that it's the ABC for altimeter, barometer, compass. It's not there on this watch. I really love it because you can point in a direction and it will help you to stay on that track, on that very same direction. So if you deviate, well, it will help you to go back into the same direction. And you can see on the same page the compass, the altimeter, and the barometer. I don't really care about the barometer, but well, unless there is a storm incoming. But yes, it's really well done. There's a barometer, I didn't tell it. There's a barometer inside, so your data about the elevation are well done. I mean, when you don't have a barometer on the watch, it will tell you the elevation based on the GPS triangulation, but you get a more precise information when you do have a barometer, and this one have one, and it's very well done. I've got very precise information about my elevation, so that's another great point. What is the next one? The next one is about the wristband. Very well done too, because of, you see that little thing just right here. If the watch can focus on it, if the camera can focus on it, please go away from my face. Okay, you see that just right here? There is that little pin just right here, which make that when you wear the watch, see, this will pass under it and it will kind of pick into it, and you see it doesn't, well, actually it does move, but when it's on your wrist, it will not go away, and you will not end up with having, let's say, that, see that is loose. That is never happening with the Garmin Forerunner 945. When you adjust it to your wrist, it just remains like that until you remove it. It can be at the end of the day or at the end of the week, but it will just not move. That's a very well done wristband. But speaking about the wristband, there is a huge downside if you are the kind of people that want to change the wristband to I don't know, match what you are doing in the day. If you want to go at a party or something and have something less silicone and more metal or leather or nylon, well, you don't have like any other Garmin watch that have been released in the last years, or maybe 2 or maybe even more. You see on the Tactics, on the Phoenix, and on some other Forerunner, you got something that looks more like this, that if you want to remove it, well, you just have to do that. And if you want to put it back, you just have to, whoops, do that. See, I remove it and I put it back. That's it. On this one, well, that's another story, because when you look at it, well, there's nothing. In fact, you have to kind of put a knife right here and do some pressure. It's weird because it's the same system of attach on both watch, but the wristband they put with the watch is not easy to remove, and I don't understand why they did it. Maybe it's about the weight, because probably that the mechanism you find behind here does add a bit of weight. That's the only reason I can see. But anyway, if you want a wristband that you can easily replace, you can have one, but the one that comes with it doesn't go away that easy. Well, just know it. Next point. The backlighting. That's amazing. Like most Garmin watch, when you go into your settings and you reach the backlight, yes, I'm actually already in. You have to, first menu, you have during an activity and not during an activity. And inside you find the same thing. So do you want to have the backlight on when you press a key or not? Or yes, just after sunset? Yes. Do you want to have the light on when you got an alert, when you do gesture? And gesture is actually not moving like this, it's just doing that move. Like if you are looking at your watch, that is the gesture. And you can also set up the time you want the light to turn on. Actually, I leave it on default. I think it's 8 seconds. And you can also even choose the brightness level. You got, yeah, it's on 10. So you got 10 brightness level. Actually, mine is on 20. And what I like is that when I press any button, it can be daytime or nighttime, in or out of an activity, when I do press a button, the light does turn on for 8 seconds. And the only other time I make it on is that when I do the gesture into an activity and it's nighttime, then the light turn on for 8 seconds. So I told you I do a lot of activity at night, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Because with some other watch, you have to, you know, you look at it, but you don't see anything, or you try to remember that when you do pass under a light to look at it. But with that watch, well, at any time, you just look at it and you see it because the backlight turned on. Otherwise, I would have to press on the light button to see something. That's very well done. Of course, yes, it does sometimes turns on for nothing, but every time I want to watch it, I can see it, and that's very well done. You got some other watches that when you look at it, it does turn on, and when you stop look at it, it stops right away. This one will remain on for the time you ask it to remain on. But very, very well done about the backlighting. What is next? The USB cable. Just right here. That's another thing that is very well done. First, because all the Garmin watch does have the very same USB cable. thank you, Garmin, for letting me have the very same USB cable for all of my watches behind. And if you go visit a friend, your battery is nearly empty, your friend does have a Garmin watch too, and you want to recharge it, well, you can use its cable because they are all the same. And they are very well done too. You see the cable at the end is very small. It doesn't take a lot of place. It's not a huge clip, Sunto. And you know, you just plug it into any direction. You don't really have to look at it, and see, it's very solid. It's remained connected, and I don't really care. It will not fall. It's very well done. It's a great cable. I love it. Okay, the next point is huge. It's about the mapping. And the mapping is by far the best mapping you can have on a running watch. And in fact, it's the same mapping you find on a Tactics and a Phoenix, which is a multi-sport watch used by people who do hiking. So you do have the topography, you do have the street name, you do have the trail of the mountain you go in the weekend, you do have the trail of the park you go walking in the night, or you do have, well, I don't think I did go on a trail somewhere that was not on the map. They just have all the trail everywhere. It's really, really impressive. So, and they use it. I mean, it's not like on Coros where you do have a map, but you don't have the street name, and you can't actually use the map. You just see it. You can look around what is around you. So you are into a city, you don't know what is around you, you want to find a restaurant, a grocery store, an hospital, somewhere to sleep, where can you put gas in your car. You can find all of this into your watch very quickly. You can even look for a city. So let's say you are on a biking trip and you want to end the day in Montreal, when you can look for the nearest city, or you can even type Montreal in, and it will give you an itinerary depending on the activity you are in to go this city. Seriously, it's really, really well done. About if you want to come back to your starting point, it will not tell you, well, go in that direction for 5 kilometers straight into the woods, or track back. Of course you can track back if you want, but when you got a watch like this one, you just say, you don't say it actually, you go into the menu and you select it, but you just ask to come back to your start point, and the option is called route back. And instead of taking you back on your foot, it will give you the shortest itinerary to go back from where you start. So if you are into a mountain or somewhere that you have a lot of trails, and at the end you just want to come back, but not necessarily on your track, because if you're like, hi, I don't like to track back, I don't like to pass twice at the same place. So in this case, you just say route back, and it will give you the shortest itinerary. It will tell you at what time you will arrive, so ETE and ETA, what time you will arrive, and in how many time you will arrive. It gives you so much, but so much information. And when I said it was really done like the Tactics and the Phoenix, well, it's true. It's exactly the same thing. But you can feel that the processor in the watch is not as powerful as a Tactics or a Phoenix. So the itinerary will not be done as fast. Still, it will be fast, but it's not as fast. Remember, it's not a computer, it's a watch. That's a big but. And there was one time I was using the itinerary, and when the map was moving, because I was walking, so the map was moving, at some time I had some glitching into the screen. That was weird. Like in the time when you got those square TV and there was some glitching. Well, that's what it was doing into the watch, and that was weird. And I did see it sometime while I was using the mapping, but still it was working. But I just had that weird stuff. But still, it worked. So it worked. Next point. The screen is easy to read. It's really easy to read. You can put it in any direction. Of course, if I show it to you just like that, and it can focus on it. And does it focus? Yes. You've got some black point like this, but in real life that doesn't happen. You just see it in any direction, just like that, you see? And I can actually even see it up to that point. Actually, if I'm looking at it just like that, I can clearly see the time. Of course, if I look at it just like that, it's even better, but I can see it in any direction. So if I am working at my desk just behind, I have my arm on the desk and I just do that, I can see the time. I don't need to actually do that to see it. It's the screen is really beautiful. You will always see it very clearly when you are outside, and when you are inside in dim environment, still you will see it very well. Of course, if you are in a dark environment, you will need to press the light button to see something, unless you have active the gesture. But yes, very well done for the screen. Next point. Oh, that one is negative. When you are into an activity, you can't come back to the watch face. And I say it's negative because you can do it with the Phoenix and the Tactics. It's not a big deal, but I do like it because, well, I don't really care about coming back to the watch face. But what is great about the fact that you can kind of put on the side the activity, but keep monitoring it, but keep counting your distance, time, steps, earth rate, and everything, is the fact that you can navigate to the widget. So if I need to, I can add the information about the actual weather on the data fields of the activity. But if I actually want to come here and see the actual forecast for the next hours, I can do it with the Tactics and the Phoenix. Or I don't know, maybe if I really want to achieve my step goal of the day, well, I could do it if I was able to get out of the activity and see where I'm at. So example, I am doing my night walk, and you see today my goal is 11,260 steps. So I don't know where I am in that day. Well, I could go out and see if I need to do a detour to complete it, or I can go straight home. So that could be useful for these kind of things, but well, it's not. But there's a great thing. You can pause the activity and resume later. So in that case, well, yes, you could technically go out of the activity, but it would not keep counting on the background. You can do that, and that's great. So if you are into a big activity and want to stop somewhere, want to go inside a grocery store or into a restaurant and eat. If you already use a watch, you know that when this happens, you want to pause. Because if you go inside and remain inside at a fixed place for maybe an hour, you will see on the map those weird movement while you are inside because the GPS signal is poor. You want to avoid it because it will, well, make your distance of the day untrue. So you want to pause it, but when you pause, you still use the GPS, and when you know that when you go back on your bike, you always forget to start it back, and you just realize it later, and well, in this case, you would have lost some kilometers in your day. So the fact that you can resume later and it take you back to your main screen, well, when you get back to your bike, you quickly realize that you did not restart the activity. So that's very, very well done that you can resume the activity later. Another great things. What's next? The next one is about the battery level, not the battery life. We will come back to this a bit later. Actually, I didn't put it on my main screen, but I'm always at one push of a button to see it. Actually, I can just press the up button. Actually, it's a down. I can press the down button and see it on top or anywhere into the watch. Even if you are into an activity, you can press and hold the up button to reach a menu, and you will always see at the top of the menu the battery percentage, and because I added the time remaining. I said I had it because it's not enabled by default. I don't know why, but you just need to press and hold the menu button and go down to battery. It's just right there, power management, and there you go down of 2, and there's the battery estimate. Normally it's off, I put it to on, and this gives me the information about the time remaining. So actually I know that it remains 78% of battery. I don't care. I don't care. Actually, what I want to know is how much time I have left to use it. So because right now I'm not into an activity, it says it remains 12 days of battery. This is by wearing it. It will calculate your heart rate, the number of steps you done in the day, those kind of things, sleep track, well, those kind of basic things. It will last for 12 days, that's 78% of battery. And if I do start an activity, I will see just right there when I do press the start button that still it remains 78% of battery, but I also have 27 hours of GPS. That, I love it. If it would remain 10% and I would want to go out for a 3 hours ride, do I have enough? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Actually, if it tell me that it remained 3 hours, I would say, well, maybe I will charge it for a few minutes to go 4 hours. If you do see 4 hours, you are good to go for 3 hours. For sure, for sure. I would say 27 hours. Actually, I would be safe for 26. That's what I would say. But yeah, I do see that information, and I think it's very convenient to know how much time you have of battery when you do go out. So that's another great point. Now, let's talk about the heart rate sensor. It's a new one. They are not made like that on the other Garmin watch. I think they will probably be made this way on the next Garmin watches. Very good job. I think it's very accurate. And one thing I really like about it, well, it's accurate. Well, the previous one was also accurate. I would just say that maybe at the start of an activity, it's not this accurate, but after 5 to 10 minutes, it gets accurate. I did not realize if it was the same with that one, but every time I was looking at the watch, depending of what I was doing and how I was feeling, the information was looking accurate. But what I do like about it is that when you want to do a sleep track, so you will wear the watch at night, there's some watch that does a lot of light and it's not great for sleeping because it does some light in your face, so not great. And I did realize that the bigger the watch is, the better it is, because you've got that distance on between your skin and the watch to block the light to go away. And this watch is not huge. It's I would say it's not a small watch, but it's a medium watch, or a normal watch maybe. And well, that was great for sleeping. The light was not passing through the watch and my skin. If I was looking at it just like that, well, yes, of course I was seeing the light, but while sleeping, it just do a great job at not wake me up with the light. Next point. The next point is very positive. It's about how the watch is independent from any other things. You don't need an app, you don't need a computer, you don't need a phone, you don't need nothing to use the watch. When you take it out of the box, it's ready to use. Of course, it will ask you if you want to pair it with the Garmin Connect app, but you can say no, and the watch will work, and you will be able to edit everything. Of course, you will probably sync it with your phone, because that's how you will export your activity. And speaking of exporting, that's another thing that it is awesome. When I come back at home, I stop my activity, I save it, and it's a question of seconds. It never took a minute before my activity was synced to Garmin Connect and then to Strava. So I can enter into my home, stop and save my activity, and the time I take my phone, unlock it, and open the Strava app, well, the activity is already there. Seriously, it is this quick. It's very, very, very quick. But the great thing is how independent it is. If you want to change the information, you do see on your watch face, you can do it into the watch. If you want to change the language, you can do it into the watch. If you want to change your data fields that you see into the watch, you can do it from the watch, and you can even do it while you are into an activity. That's very important. If you are running and at some point you realize that you forget to put your average heart rate, I would be able to add it into, I would say, 20 seconds max. Worst case, if I want to do something more major, maybe it could take a minute. If I want to change some field and order or this kind of thing, it's really, really quick. You navigate, that's what I was saying at the beginning. You navigate with those 4 buttons just right here, and you get the information that you want. You can change it very, very, very quickly. Very well done. And you do have a lot of information you can put on the watch. And yes, I love the fact that everything is done easily, straight on the watch. You don't need a phone, you don't need a third-party device. Everything is editable from the watch. If you don't want to use a phone, you can sync it over Wi-Fi. You can even sync it over LTE, but we'll come back on this later. About the Wi-Fi, by the way, you will need to do it from the app, actually. For this one, you can select the Wi-Fi network and enter the password straight into the watch, as you can do with the Phoenix and the Tactics. But you can, with the app, select the Wi-Fi network and then forget about the phone and sync it only over Wi-Fi if you want. Next one. The next great thing is about the flashlight. Yes, you do have a flashlight on the watch. See for yourself. It says just right there, flashlight. And if I select it, oh, I'm on the wrong side. Like that. You see? It's white. So yes, it looks stupid, I know. It's only a white screen with full brightness on. But you would be surprised of what it could do at night in a mountain, on a trail, on a very, very, very dark night. Actually, I did already test it with my Tactics. The screen is just a bit bigger, but I'm pretty confident that it would do about the same job. I was in the mountain at night, and I forget to bring my flashlight, and my friend too, and it was really, really, really dark. No clouds, no moons, nothing to help. It was dark. It was pitch black. We were not able to see anything. Not the trail, not the trees, not the rocks, not the roots. Nothing. Just nothing. And by turning on the flashlight, I was able to see, not in deep detail everything, but I was just able to see where the trail was and where the rocks and roots were. So that helped me to finish my trail. That was a great feature, and it's available on the Garmin Forerunner 945 LTE. You got a flashlight on this. Next one. Oh, the next one is about the breathability. Is that a word? It's all great. It breathes on your skin. And actually, when I was wearing it, I felt that I never felt moisture under the watch. It was always great. So the breathability is great. The next one is about hotkeys. And that's just so awesome. Actually, yeah, I did reset the watch recently just because I had a tutorial to do about it. But if we look at this other watch, it's the very same thing. You see, I was talking about the flashlight. So on this one, when I do those two buttons together, instead of pressing and holding this one and navigate to flashlight, well, the only thing I need to do at any moment, anywhere I am on the watch, I do press and hold those two buttons and I got a flashlight. So I can do the very same thing with the Forerunner 945. And when I talk about hotkeys, you can do a lot of things. I could that's another great thing to configure when you do any activity. If I press and hold this start-stop button, it will take me to a change sport page. So if usually what I do is I start running, and at some point I switch to walking. So I start a running activity, but you don't have to start a multi-sport activity or something like that. You just go as you wish at the moment. So I start with a running activity. If I want to do it all on running, well, I just keep going on running. But at the end, if I just want to, at some point, if I just want to switch for a walk, I will press and hold that one, select walk, and I will continue the activity as a walking. It will record a single activity, but it will be a multi-sport, so you will be able to see the information for all of those activities at the end. On Strava, it will do two activities. But there's a lot of things you can configure into those hotkeys. There's a lot of option you can have access. Do you want to have a countdown timer, a stopwatch, or all those things? If there is something that you use very often, you can program it on a hotkey and have a quicker access to it. That's very, very convenient. Another great thing is that you can run against yourself. So you can pick an activity you did, well, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, or anytime, and you can run against yourself. Or you can set yourself an objective. Let's say that your quickest 10K is 60 minutes, and today you want to try to beat yourself and do it in 55 minutes. Well, you can tell the watch, well, I want to run a 10K in 55 minutes, and it will show you where you are against a ghost on the watch, if you are in front or behind, or if you are far behind or far in front of it, or almost at the same place. It will show it to you on the page, and it's really, really well done. Actually, when I say that you can run an activity, don't expect that if you go, I don't know, do a trail running on a mountain. So you go climb it and go down, it will take the average speed. So of course, when you will do your climbing part, your ghost will be ahead of you. But still, that's a great tool. But if your run is not this flat, well, it's worth what it's worth. But still, it's a great tool. The next point is a negative point. Well, personally, I just think that Garmin is US company that actually moved to Switzerland, but the watch is made in Taiwan. As I know, there's a lot of companies that do that. They build their stuff somewhere in Asia. Actually, that doesn't change the quality of the product. It's very well done. It feels quality. Every Garmin watch does feel quality. They're not badly made because they are made in Taiwan, but just that, well, they could do it in their own country instead of Taiwan. Just that. I mean, Sunto made their watch in their own country, and they do it, so why not Garmin? Okay, now let's talk about the battery. So on my first charge, I wear it 24 hours a day, every day, except when I was going into the shower. And this is not because because I was worried to take it underwater. No, I will talk about the water a little bit later. It's just because I like to wash myself under the watch. So on that first charge, before the watch go from 100% to dead, the watch lasts 7 days and a half. And into those 7 days and a half, I did 13 hours and 25 minutes of GPS activity. So very well done for a running watch this lightweight. The estimated charge for everything is, so if you only wear it, I didn't really test it for each of them, but they are kind of accurate, so you can trust it. If you just wear it, no GPS, you just calculate your step, heart rate, and those kind of things, your watch will last for 15 days. 15 days of charge. If you do use the GPS, so you unplug it, the battery is full, and you go for a huge activity, well, you have 35 hours of GPS in the watch. That's huge. That's very, very huge. Yeah, 35 hours. If you do use the music. So this means that you have your Bluetooth headphone connected into it and you're not into an activity. You just want to listen to your music. You got 20 hours of battery. And if you use GPS plus music, Bluetooth, you do have 13 hours of battery. So yes, the battery does drain the battery a lot. Then you also have the LTE mode, and we'll talk about the LTE right after the battery. The LTE mode, this means when you do a live track so people can track you, you got only 11 hours of battery. So keep it in mind if you want to use the LTE mode. It does drain the battery a lot. You pass from 35 hours to 11. That's a lot. And if you have your Bluetooth headphone connected into it, over that, so if you use the LTE plus music, you only have 7 hours of battery. Ouch. So, let's talk about that LTE. Is it worth it? I mean, when you do buy the the Garmin Forerunner 945 LTE, well, that's a name. You have two choices. You have the LTE and the non-LTE. And I'm not speaking about prices because, well, actually, I don't remember the price I really paid for that watch. But you can go see in the description because the price may change from a country to another, and it will also may change over time. So use my link in the description and you will be able to buy the watch into different store depending on the country you are in. And if you use the link, I just want you to know that I do commission out of it. So if you use it, well, thank you, because it will help me to buy some more watch to do some other tutorial like the one you are watching just right now. So if you use it, thank you very much. But what I want to tell you is that there is one thing that I remember is that I had the choice between LTE and not LTE, and I think the only different price was like $20. It was a very small difference in price. And is it worth it? I would say for $20, pick the LTE. You won't regret it. It's not because you pick the LTE model that you have to use it. You can just have it and not use it. There are some things that are great. Some things that are amazing, and some things that are very, very bad. The first great thing is that you don't need to shop for a phone company that will send you a SIM card that you will put into the watch. No, you don't have to do nothing about that. The SIM card is already inside. Actually, you can't swap it. It's really inside. And when you want to activate it, you go into the Garmin Connect app and you activate it. It will cost you, I think it's in Canadian, $8 or $9 a month. The price does vary if you go for a year or monthly. It's well done to activate and deactivate the service. Very easy to do, and it's with Garmin. They probably have a phone partner in every country, and well, that's the way it works. Anyway, so the only thing that it will give you, because no, you won't be able to do a call, you won't be able to send a text message, you won't be able to download your Spotify music so you can listen to it. No, you won't be able to do that with the LTE. The only thing it will give you is the ability to do a live track. And you can do a live track if you don't have the LTE. You can just do it with your phone. So it it will just give you the ability to not bring your phone. So personally, when I go out, I always bring my phone. So for me, it's useless. Totally useless. But if you don't like to bring your phone, that might be something good. But just know, maybe it's because of the area where I am, but it doesn't work well around my house. I mean, very close to my house, it's fine, but I do go walk around a lake when I do my walking at night, and when I'm close to the lake, it's just not working. The live track actually is a 1 minute update, so it's not this live, it's an update every minute. And in some areas where my phone works very well, the watch doesn't update. You can receive text messages. So you are walking, running, or whatever, and if someone, well, the way it works is that you enable live track, and when you do enable live track, if you have your phone with you, it will use your phone connection, and if you don't have your phone, it will use the watch connection. And well, you can receive message even if you don't have your phone. So people send you a message, not a text message to your phone, but a message to your live track event. So you receive it on your watch. And if you have your Bluetooth headphone connected into it, they will have the ability to send you a voice message and you will hear it. It's actually very well done, except that it's not working every time. So if the signal is poor, it doesn't work. And actually, what I'm surprised is that my phone does work into those areas, but not the watch. Actually, I was putting I was disabling the Bluetooth connection on my phone just to not let the watch have access to my phone, and I was on phone with somebody, so the cellular network was fine into that area, but the watch doesn't catch it. So, but maybe it's just my area. I did go on a mountain and that was working very fine, but not around my house. So, oh. Huh. I didn't have a great experience with the LTE connection. So, yeah. But technically, if it would work well, that would be great. Except that when you do use the LTE, I did realize that when I was navigate from a page to another, the watch was working slowly. I was clearly seeing the page charge, or the watch was freezing and then switch page. And that's something that just never happened. Well, actually, you don't see it. You see, I navigate, everything go very, very fast. Every time I do press a button, it do something. And when the LTE is enabled, well, we lose that quickiness of action of the watch. So it does, again, take processor power, and the processor of the watch doesn't seem strong enough for some features. Just by using the watch, no LTE, no mapping, everything works very fine. But when you do use the mapping and the LTE, you do see those kind of lag. So it's the first watch where they take the LTE in. I think maybe that's something they might solve with update. And I'm pretty sure their next LTE watch will be way better. But the LTE function on this one, I can't recommend it because I did have a poor experience. And there's one other thing that that was stupid. I have my do not disturb enabled between 22 o'clock and 8 o'clock, I think. And there was one night I was going out and I was doing some tests. So someone was texting me on the watch, and at the beginning it was working, and then it stopped working. So I said to myself, well, again, it's the LTE network. I was just beside a cellular antenna, so that was weird. And actually, that one was still seeing me, my position update, so that was weird. And at the end, I realized it's because the do not disturb mode was enabled. And I think it's stupid that they keep the do not disturb enabled for sleep when you do an activity. It's pretty obvious that you're not sleeping when you are into a sport activity. So yeah, I was not receiving my message because I was on do not disturb. So as soon as I disable it and they start to resend me text messages, I was receiving it. That was weird. So yeah, that's about the LTE. No, there was one more thing about the LTE. It can sync your activity over LTE. So if you're, I don't know, somewhere you don't have your phone and you end your activity and want to sync your activity to Garmin Connect or Strava, if your phone is not there, it will automatically use the LTE connection to sync your activity. But I did try it one time. Well, more than one time. Some of them works great, but there was one time that was terrible. I was at home. Like I told you, it seems to not work well around my house. And my house is in a city. It's not a big city, but still it's a 70,000 people city, so it's not a small city. And for sure, around my house it doesn't work so well, so inside the house it just not work. So I did the test to disable Bluetooth just to force the watch to sync over LTE, and the result was that when I did go to bed, maybe an hour after my activity, there was remaining 40% of battery. And the result was that the next morning, when I wake up, the watch was dead. No more battery. Into the night, it did empty the battery from 40% to 0. So of course, I connected back and did sync it over Bluetooth. That was fine. But it did empty my watch overnight. Ouch. Not good. Was there something else about LTE? Yeah, just want to make you understand that everything I just talked to you about, text message, live tracking, audio feedback, they are all things you can do without the subscription with the phone, except the audio feedback. So you can do a live track. You can receive text messages from your phone. You will see it on your watch. You can have quick reply options. You can do all of those things with your phone. So the only benefit you have is to not having your phone with you and got the audio feedback. That's it. That's the only thing it gives you for $8 or $9 a month, and it do pass your battery from 35 hours of GPS to 11. So at what point you don't want to have your phone with you? And still, let's talk about the music, because yes, you can sync your Spotify or Deezer account, or you can put straight MP3 music into it if you still have MP3 music, or you can control your phone. That's what I do. I do control the music of my phone. So I have my music on my phone. I go on the music app. You just have to press and hold the down button and it takes you to your music app. If you do control your phone, you just have skip, next, previous, pause, play, volume control, all those things. So if I have my headphone connected into my phone and I want to control it, I can do it from the watch. That's very, very well done. And if you use the Spotify, Deezer, or this kind of service, well, you need to put your Bluetooth headphone and control your music from the watch. It works as well. It does play well. Everything works fine. If you want to sync your Spotify playlist, sync it over time. When you do change your playlist, you just come back on the app and sync it. It go over Wi-Fi, download the music. Everything works very well. It's just that if you want to listen to podcast, you need to manually every time go pick your podcast. And you do have your list of podcasts, but there's no feature to auto-download the latest podcast as you can do on any podcast application on your phone. So if you are more a podcast people, if you are most of a podcast type, not very well done. For the music, it works very well. Just drain your battery quickly. But for podcasts, I do not recommend it. Just not worth it. Unless you don't care about the fact that every time you want to go out, you go play into the watch to pick your latest podcast and then wait for it to download. No, I really not recommend it for podcasts. But for music, it works well. For music, it works very well. Okay, water resistance. Told you we're gonna go back to this point. So it's rated. It's not rated on it. Actually, this is strange, but it's not rated on it. But it's rated 5 ATM. This means it can resist to a 50 meters deep pressure of water. So yes, you can go swim with it. You can go dive with it up to 50 meters max. You can take your shower. You can jump into water, no problem. You're just limited to not do fast water activity like nautical ski or probably surfing or those kind of activity. Don't do it, because if you crash on water, the chances that the water gets in the watch are there. You can break your watch in that case. So for most people, swimming, shower, all those things, no problem. It will resist to it. Great water resistance. And finally, my last point was about the Garmin Connect app. Really, really well done. Because the Garmin Connect app is available on your phone and it's available on a web page. So if you want to use your big screen to create mapping and itinerary into Garmin Connect, you want to say, I want to pass there, you can use the big screen. If you want to see your heart rate graphics or pace and map and all those things, you can see it on a big screen. I like it a lot. If you are more a phone someone that likes to use small screen and touch screens on those small screens, well, it's very, very well done too. You can do about the same thing on the web page and the phone application. It's very, very well done. You do see a lot of information after your activity. You will see a lot of things. I will not go in very detail into that video. I think it's already long enough. But the Garmin Connect app is a great plus for the for any Garmin watch. So yeah, I think we pretty much done the tour of that watch. Of course, know that I did a lot of review video. You can see my other watch review video just right here. And I also made a lot of tutorials about Garmin watches. This one I made some of it, and some of them are the same as the Phoenix and Tactics, so I did not double it. But you can see my Garmin tutorials just right here. You might enjoy it. And again, remember that you can purchase the watch from the link into the description. I do make a commission out of it, and it does help me to buy some other watches. So yes, I think we've made the tour of that Garmin Forerunner 945 LTE. So this is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. And if you need help to find this product online, please see my links in the description. And finally, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel so you can find me back easily next time you're looking for a great review video. See ya!